because in retail, customers, they will spit on you. But one of the big things in retail is like customers always right, which is not necessarily true. But
Right.
but I'm honestly, if you're trying to do business, like customers right. My pleasure. Chick-fil-A, you make the customer happy, they'll keep coming back. Even if they spit in your face, they'll keep coming back.
Welcome to the Leader Diaries podcast, where your story is a diary worth sharing. It's your host, Justin Mohabier, and I'm the CEO of Being Present Where Your Feet Are Planted. Today, we have a very special guest, rather I say a brother of mine, Joel Sapp, tax professional and CEO of GBooks.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's been pretty cool watching the journey so far, watching the other episodes. A little bit about me. I do own a bookkeeping and tax and accounting firm called GBooks. Like you said, I've been doing it for about 5 years, almost 6 years now.
At what age did you start your business, and what were you doing before then? Did you go to college? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so I started probably at around 23, 24, around there. Yeah, I'm 30 now. But around 23, 24, I know, old man, man, getting old. But 23, 24, I did go to college. I went to FIU. I was actually like doing like learning the bookkeeping and like different things like while I was in college. Not really in school, but I bought the course that kind of taught me how to do bookkeeping, how to do tax, and how to like just pretty much do it for people.
You said 23 years old. That's when you started your business.
Yes.
So growing up, did you always knew that you were going to have a business?
Yes. So that's actually what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to start a business when I was going to college. I was like, what should I go to college for? Everyone who doesn't really know what their major should be, I was like, let me just do business. So I picked business as my major and then kind of made that transition to learning like accounting and stuff. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do business.
So let me get this straight. You started your first job out of high school was Walgreens, and working at Walgreens, you worked there for how long? You worked there for 8 years.
8 years.
So when it came to your own company, GBooks, what were some transferable skills that Walgreens had taught you over the course of 8 years?
Definitely a lot. Customer service is very important. So I learned customer service for sure, how to take care of people, what to offer them. I also learned about KPIs, so key performance indicators, pretty much how to look at the numbers, look at data. And data pretty much tells the story because if someone's not inside of a Walgreens per se, like the bosses were, if your numbers are down, looking down, district manager, hey, your numbers are bad. So I learned like even transferring to my business, how to look at the data, look at the numbers. Okay, is my business making money? Am I doing the right things? Why is this area like this? I feel like Walgreens skills help me kind of like network and like talk to people as well. So, and even like leadership, like leading people is not easy.
What does the transition process look like for someone going from employee to entrepreneur?
I think the transition process is, as an entrepreneur, you don't have a set schedule. As an employee, you work 9 to 5, 4 to 12. Like they tell you when to come in, you have that schedule. And they also tell you what to do. You got tasks to do. As an entrepreneur, you got to make a schedule. Make sure you're showing up at the time you're supposed to be showing up. Make sure you schedule things around the time you need to schedule things. And like no one's like lording or bossing over you. Like you got to do this. You're on your own. So you know what you have to do. You got to execute it. You also got to set the standard as the entrepreneur, where as Walgreens, as an employee, or if you're an employee somewhere else, there's a standard already set. There's a process to follow. Like as an entrepreneur, there's no process. There's no standard. You just got to kind of like follow it. You can follow other outside entrepreneurs, but you got to kind of like make your process for your business. So definitely a big difference and definitely a big shift from employee to entrepreneur.
Some common mistakes that businesses make early on?
Businesses, I think the biggest mistake is not keeping track of like financials. So obviously what they make and what they spend. Why? Because if you don't keep track of what you make and what you spend, you tend to overspend. when you think you're making X amount, or you tend to run out of cash flow. Like they say it when people get in the cash flow crunch. So you tend to run out of like liquid cash and the amount of money that you actually have. So I think of someone who's just starting a business. Let's say they're making like $2,000 a month and they're selling products. If the products are costing them 2,500, you're going to be in the negative. Or even if the products are costing them 1,800, you're only making $200 a month, pretty much. So that's all you're making. God forbid you go on a vacation or like you got to spend some extra money in a month, you're going to be in the negative and you're actually going to not profit. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is kind of like mismanaging or not taking care of like financial needs. And I think that doesn't come easy to like every business owner, which it doesn't come easy to most people because it's kind of like I'm the business owner. I do what I do. Like I do the work. Like I sell these things or I make these things or I'm the one in charge. I like for me with accounting, like I do the accounting work. But I also gotta think about, okay, while I'm doing the accounting work, I gotta make sure my business is actually like making money in the back end. I think many businesses fail for that. Most businesses fall within the first 5 years or they don't make it to the first 5 years. So yeah, definitely money management is probably the biggest thing, biggest mistake.
In your company, GBooks, they
Yeah.
help other organizations, businesses with their bookkeeping, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we help others with bookkeeping and just making sure their financials are in the right place and making sure they're making profit they're making or showing if their business is actually profitable. Yeah. And just making sure they're making the right decisions tax wise too, because that plays a big portion. Because in the United States, you make money, you gotta pay taxes on it. So yeah.
When it comes to leadership, do you believe everyone is called to be a leader?
I do believe everyone's called to be a leader. I know some people are like, oh, leaders are boring. I think people can be born with the leadership ability, but I do believe that everyone's called to be a leader. And I know a good question is, how can everyone be called to be a leader? Who's going to follow? I think everyone's called to follow, but in order to be a good leader, you have to follow first. So I think everyone's called to be a leader, and God's called us to lead in some type of way. God's called us to maybe be in the forefront or be in front of something, like in front of an initiative. But you are called to lead. Why? Because we're all called to lead ourselves. It's hard enough to lead yourself as a person. So I think everyone's called to be a leader in their own right, lead themselves first, and then to lead people eventually.
When it comes to leadership, you need people to follow you. And I think when it comes to this is like a horizontal comparison to a teacher was once the student,
That's true.
but the teacher is always a student nonetheless. We're always students in this life on earth.
Yeah.
Because we never stop learning. And then if you stop learning, you start earning. That's what they say.
When you stop earning.
So, yeah. And I think leadership is someone who seeks the desire to learn.
Yeah.
It's a relentless pursuit of growth.
Yeah.
Because in order for someone to grow, you have to learn. And there's a saying like Rome wasn't built overnight. There's not a there's not an overnight process to it. It takes a while, right? It's a journey. If you could give one message to listeners right now, what one message would you want them to walk away with?
You can do it. Nah, for sure. I think we're all called to do something. I like how you brought up kind of like that calling. Like we may have a burning desire, or maybe we feel like we're not called to do anything, but we all have the gifting inside of us. So I think back to the Bible in Romans, it talks about if your gift is to encourage well. Like if your gift is hospitality and do it well. If your gift is serving others, like then serve them like with a glad heart. It's kind of like we all have a gifting, something that God has given each and every individual. There's something that we like. We all have passions. So if we're called to do it, it's kind of like do it. What are you waiting for? Like step out of the comfort zone, step out of maybe the comfortability and like do it and do it to a great extent. Because if it's in us, God has given it to us. He's given it to us for a reason. Didn't give it to us just to keep it to ourselves, but to spread to other people. I'll say just step out.
Do you balance faith with your work life? Because some clients are not Christians; they may be Jewish or Muslims.
Yeah.
So how do you like balance not going too much in your faith and dealing with business?
That's great. That's great. I think for me, faith is all a part of me. So it's hard sometimes, but I think how I balance it is I know I'm in a corporate setting. If I'm talking to someone who's, maybe Muslim, or like not the same faith as me. If I'm talking to someone who is an unbeliever or someone who's just they're not Christian at all, then I know how to talk to them like a normal person. I'm not going to belittle, oh, the Bible says this. No, you should steward your money. No, it's like talking to them like a normal person, doing my job, educating them, enlightening them, advising them, doing the work for them. But at the end of the day, like, I'm still a believer. I'll make sure I'm praying for them. I'll make sure I'm showing up well as a believer because I take my faith seriously. And if I say I love Jesus, if I say I love God, if I say I love people, like I got to show that.
So what's a mistake that you made that you don't regret because it taught you something powerful?
Okay, a mistake that I made that I don't regret. Do you want to know a mistake that I made that I do regret? I mean, it's not really a mistake, but it's something I kind of do regret. Is I worked at Walgreens for 8 years, 8 long, hard years, but I kind of regret not quitting sooner. So I look at that as kind of like a mistake because I feel like if I would have quit, I'd be doing something way better at a younger age and like making more money or in a better position. So that was like one of the regrets, and I consider that a mistake. But I didn't like I made that mistake, but I kind of regret it, and I don't regret it at the same time because while Walgreens taught me a lot of valuable principles, I was able to advance in Walgreens, so grow in management. And I was able to learn a lot of things that transferred to my business. So I use that as like a double-edged sword.
So if the CEO of Walgreens is watching this, listening to his podcast right now, what do you have to tell him?
CEO Walgreens, I'll tell them to take care of your people because Walgreens, even now, Walgreens, like I mentioned, it was in that book, Good to Great, how Walgreens stood out from the competitors. And one of the things that stood out about Walgreens is they actually took care of like their employees, they took care of their people, and they started to grow the organization more and more and more. And Walgreens had a lot of good benefits at one point. But now the company's actually going down. I wouldn't say tanking, but they're actually been going down in recent years. They actually got bought out by a private equity firm called Sycamore. And I would tell them just take care of your people, like the new CEO that coming in, I think his name like Nick Collins or something like that. But I would tell them to just take care of your people. Why? Because now Walgreens, the benefits, they cut a lot of the benefits. I heard they're not giving as much time and a half on different holidays. And I heard they're just doing a lot of things to like lower people's pay, not giving people raises, the raises they deserve, or giving everyone the same raise at one point. Like when you got, whether you got a 3%, like a 2 on your evaluation or 4, you got like the same raise, which is not good. You got to take care of your people because I think the best companies are the ones that take care of your people. When you take care of your people, they'll produce for you. So I say take care of people and they'll be faithful and committed to the cause that you have at hand. Why? Because they feel like they're part of the family. I tell them, take care of your people, Mr. Walgreens.
Walgreens, you heard it. That's so important. And I think of culture. That's why a lot of these companies are investing in their culture, like millions. So that's definitely an important aspect of a company, but more importantly, to a potential candidate that would join the company as well. Because truth be told, we spend more time at work than we do with our loved ones and than people we have back home. If we're going to work for a company, at least I want to make sure like the culture is vibrant, it's supportive, I can grow here. And the growth isn't years of misery. No, I'm enjoying the team that I'm working with and calling a spade a spade. You can have a great culture, but you could also be placed in a team where your manager might not be a fit for you. You might not be a fit for your manager. Like you and your manager might butt heads quite often.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot, like people have like terrible bosses. So do you think when it comes to like those bosses, you think there's a difference between being a boss and being a leader?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a big difference from being a boss or a manager and being a leader. And I think there's similarities. As a manager, you do have responsibilities and roles that you have for being a leader. But I think the difference comes in like how you treat people or how you show up. Why? Because I think it's mainly how you treat people. You may think of like your leadership style or like your management style, and you may think I have to do this way. But I think as a leader, you kind of like hear the thoughts of the people, like, and you gotta actually like lead them rather than just manage them, because that could actually hurt them, just like you said. And that could actually like good talent, it could actually like cast away or get rid of good talent or like draw away people from actually wanting to be a part of the organization. Why? Because you're simply just managing them rather than leading them better. So yeah,
People treat others as a reflection of their character. It says a lot about themselves
100%.
and their personal reputation or brand. In the lens of the CEO, What do you look for when you hire someone?
It's a great question. Great question. I look for them to be lions as a leader, as a CEO, as an employer. Something I look for is somebody who honestly, I like to look for passion or kind of like that inner drive in them because I kind of look not even just passion for like the actual thing. Because I hired a lot of people at Walgreens or even in my company, I hired people that weren't really necessarily passionate about Walgreens or passionate about accounting, but they had a drive to learn and to grow. And I knew that person was like coachable. I look for people who are like, yo, I can receive learning. And sometimes I think there's times like even like people I fired were like they receive learning for a little bit and they thought they receive learning, but then they get back to okay, let me get back to like receiving the learning. So I look at like people who are open to like receiving learning and receiving feedback, receiving like growing. So I think that makes like the best employees because if they're open to growth, they're open to learning, they're open to getting better, they're open to going from where they are to like where they need to go. So I think at the end of the day, that's leadership. Leadership is like getting a person from where they are to a particular place that they never thought they would go. But when they get there, they'll thank you. My God. So I think that's leadership. And that's kind of like what I look for. Someone who's open to like going from where you are to another place or growing in an area.
So when the clock hits 0, how do you want to be remembered?
Man, remember me. Let me stop. But when the clock strikes 0, I think I honestly, I just want to be remembered for just like a person who like served others, like helped others. Something I look through it is like, I know a lot of people say serving others, but it's kind of like, yo, did I like add value to someone's life rather than just like take away from them? So honestly, I just want to be remembered as a person who serves and like added value to someone. Like I think about people who are like my friends or even my family, like for that matter, or people who are my clients. Like, am I actually adding value to their life or do they just have me and I'm like pulling away from them and I'm like subtracting value? Like, am I encouraging someone? Am I being there for someone? Am I like helping someone when they need help? Because I want the same for me. So when the clock strikes 0, I just want to be remembered as that person, yo, he actually helped out. He actually added value to my life.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you here on the Leader Diaries podcast, where your story is a diary worth sharing. Subscribe and like, and be present where your feet are planted. Thanks.